Hello everyone, welcome to Hermes Speaks. It's Emily with Emily T Astrology, and I am your host for this, your Astro Check-in, where we explore the current quality of time and we listen to Hermes, Mercury, our messenger god of astrology. We listen to Hermes speak through the written word and bibliomancy, through conversation, and through story. Today we're looking at the solar eclipse in Leo that's taking place on the 12th. Before we get into it, please remember to like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Really helps this channel to grow. So appreciate you being here and watching with me. This eclipse has been discussed throughout the astrological community already by several people. Today's exploration of the eclipse chart will be on the more brief side, as I did go into a more thorough breakdown with my friend Erin Dosh of Astrology with Erin on her collaborative YouTube channel, Awakening Airwaves, and I will link that in the description of this video. So if you'd like a full breakdown in a more conversational setting, then check that out. We break down the entire month of August in that episode. I have not been living under a rock, as I know many of you watching have not either, and there has been huge upheaval and controversy within our own astrological community. I will say that it feels extremely timely to go along with this current astrological weather that we are living through. Feels extremely timely. I applaud the decision made by UAC to withdraw Stephen Forrest from its speakers. It is the right thing to have done in my mind. And I'm not in a position to comment much more other than to say we are living through the astrological weather, and just because we know the astrology and we have looked ahead does not mean that we in this community are immune from experiencing the same cosmic tides. Let's get into the particulars, as I always like to do at the beginning, at the top of the show. Let's look at the particulars of this solar eclipse in Leo. It is coming through on August 12th at 20 degrees of Leo. There are some tight aspects held within this eclipse chart, so I want to point those out to you. We have the sun and the moon at 20 degrees of Leo. The south node is at 29 degrees of Leo, having just entered the sign in its predominantly retrograde motion. The nodes move in reverse order through the zodiac, and so it just entered that 29th degree of Leo recently, within the last couple of weeks. In Leo as well, we have Jupiter at 9 degrees and Mercury at 5 degrees of Leo. So we have a stellium of planets, Mercury, Jupiter, the sun and the moon, and the south node all residing in Leo at the time of this eclipse. Of course, it is opposed to the north node at 29 degrees of Aquarius. And also in Aquarius, we have Pluto retrograde at 3 degrees, almost 4 degrees of Aquarius. And so Mercury at 5 degrees of Leo is very tightly opposed to Pluto in Aquarius at the time of the exactitude here. In Gemini at 5 degrees, we have Uranus. In Libra at 5 degrees, we have Venus. And in Aries, we have Neptune at 4 degrees, Saturn at 14. So here we have 5 of the 6 fire and air signs, the fire signs being Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, the air signs being Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We have planets in 5 of these 6 fire and air signs. Not only that, we have a planet in each of these 5 fire and air signs in between 3 and 5 degrees of their respective signs. So the dominant signature of this eclipse chart is of fire and air. Fire signs are inspired. They're active, they're quick moving and spirited. Air signs are communicative, dispersive, connective, and cerebral, and also fast moving. We have 5 points on a nearly 6-pointed star activated within this eclipse chart. I think of the 6-pointed star as being full of creativity and potential. This is a moment of great potential, great creativity. And for those of you who have planets between, I don't know, I would say 2 and maybe 8 degrees, but specifically 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees of Sagittarius, this is a moment of real kind of synergistic energy happening with your planet in Sagittarius completing 6 points on a 6-pointed star. This constellation is full of sextiles and trines, the sextiles being cooperative, the trines being supportive and free-flowing. There are also all of the oppositions taking place across a fire and air sign dyad: Aries, Libra, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Leo and Aquarius. And so there is enough dynamism, enough tension for the creativity and the potential to stick to something. So this is a potential moment just on its own, taking out where the sun and the moon are at 20 degrees of Leo. The fact that we have 5 points on a 6-pointed star in the transiting sky active at this moment, it's laden with potentiality, right? Now, potential is not the same as, or it doesn't necessarily mean that things will happen. It's potential. Potential needs to be harnessed. Potential needs to be taken up and then done something with. So I'm not promising that massive things are going to be created and started and happening at this moment. But the potential for that to be the case is there in this chart. Again, especially if you have personally planets in those early degrees of Sagittarius. So that is the backbone of this eclipse chart before we even look at the eclipse itself, right? You know, I'm taking a little bit of a different stance on the exploration of this eclipse chart. I, as an astrologer, as part of the astrology community, are living through the literal, sometimes astrology is so literal, the literal expression of this eclipse. I think we're in the middle of it too much. I can't comment even on this eclipse because I'm living it. We're living it right now. The South Node nature of this eclipse, the place of diminishment, of release, of letting go, the place of, the dragon's tail, of the letting the shit out. I'm just going to be vulgar, right? This is where the poop comes out. And this is what's happening within our community. We are watching the fall in Leo, the solar eclipse in Leo, the sign of the king, the sign of the leadership, of the queen, of the figurehead, of the celebrity, of the leaders that we hold on high. We are watching the fall off of a pedestal of prominent people in our community specifically, but potentially in a mundane sense throughout the world and in our personal lives as well. And I have to say, I'm a little too embroiled in it right now with my own personal story, within my own personal connection to the astrological community, to truly comment right now. I'm in the middle of it. We're in the middle of it. I think one of the potential shadows right now of the Pluto in Aquarius opposition by sign to this eclipse, I think there is a tendency right now, what I have been seeing in the community is kind of group think mob mentality. People are feeling reactive and reactionary. Everyone wants to throw their opinion into the ring, and a lot of this is warranted. A lot of this is necessary. A lot of this, there is no other appropriate response besides outrage, besides disappointment, and also there is a lot of kind of reactionary, uninformed, and sometimes unethical there's a lot of word vomit happening out there. There's a lot of just like, let's just get out there and get involved in the fray. Maybe we need to just sit and experience what's going on for us, reflect on what this is bringing up for us. I mean, everyone I know is coming up with profound questions around visibility, around speaking their truth, around being a public figure or not, around being a leader or not, around showing up in a performative way or not. Like this is a moment, and we're in the middle of it. So on the highest level, the most immediate thing that we're feeling is this opposition by sign to Pluto, and then the opposition by degree of Mercury in Leo to Pluto in Aquarius. We're feeling this tension quite acutely with the South Node in Leo, the draining of the king, of the figurehead, of the father figure, of the leadership, and then the North Node and Pluto in Aquarius calling in and manifesting the community, the good of the whole, and also that mob mentality groupthink that's hungry. It's very hungry right now. So that's kind of our dominant, loudest thing that I think we're all swimming through right now. It's a soup that we're in. There's a 5-pointed star that is inviting us to make something new, to create something, or at least to think of the ideas, right? These are fire and air signs, so inspired and cerebral, spirited and communicative. This is there. Let us not forget it, right? The other aspect that I think is really flying under the radar here, we have Mars having just moved into Cancer at 0 degrees of Cancer at the time of this eclipse, very tightly sextile to Chiron retrograde at 0 degrees of Taurus. Now this is really flying under the radar because all of the fire and air and the eclipsiness of the solar eclipse is so loud and pronounced. Mars in Cancer feels vulnerable, feels like it will cause and will feel itself to have been harmed. Okay, it will cause harm, and it feels prickly and as though it has been harmed. Okay, and it is in a sextile, a supportive and cooperative relationship to Chiron, our wound in Taurus, our stability and security. And so I think there's also, in addition to the creative and dynamic potential of the cradle, the 5 points on the 6-pointed star, the minor grand trines, however you want to refer to it, we also have an underpinning, an undernote of a sense of emotional and physical insecurity that's baked into this eclipse because of that sextile between Mars and Cancer and Chiron and Taurus. There is a quality of feeling emotionally insecure here, feeling emotionally wounded. And that sense of emotional insecurity, Mars and Cancer, is cooperating with our wound around being enough, Chiron and Taurus, our wounds around worth, self-worth, and the worth of our physical things, our foodstuffs, our land. I would watch for our responses that then propel us into the mob mentality and the groupthink that then cause us to be reactionary and throw our voices in the ring, that they are coming from a deep-seated underbelly of emotional insecurity that is baked into this eclipse as well. But I really want us to hold on to the potentiality of the 5 points on the 5-pointed star. It's hard to talk about when you're in the middle of it, right? Let's regroup. Let's regroup in a little bit, and let's see how we're all feeling. I don't even know how much of this I'm going to put in this episode. This episode might just end up being the Bibliomancy because it's good, okay? So I'm going to bring that in right now. Y'all, I tried to put on my gold necklace and my red shirt. It's real hot outside where I am. It's like 95 degrees. I'm hot. Okay, so I actually have 2 books today for our Bibliomancy or added oracular guidance. If you're not familiar with Bibliomancy, by the way, it is another oracular or divinatory craft, just like the I Ching or Tarot. You take a book and you ponder a question or a concept or a thought, or in this case, the transit of the solar eclipse. And then you open the book at random and listen to Hermes Mercury, our messenger god of astrology, speak to us through the written word. And so both of these books caught my eye on my shelf, and I just decided I was going to use both of them. So the first is Catching Fire. I've used this book before on this channel, by Suzanne Collins. This is the second book in the Hunger Games trilogy. And I opened the book and read this. So, we're heading off into the great unknown, are we? He asks me. No, I say. Not anymore. Worked through the flaws in that plan, did you, sweetheart? He asks. Any new ideas? I want to start an uprising, I say. Okay. That's the first thing that I read when I pulled that book. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. The second book, All About Love by Bell Hooks. I've also used this book on this channel before because it's so good. And I think about Leo as being a heart-centered, love-centered sign, at its best. So I thought about the solar eclipse, and I opened the book, and also I thought about what I had just read in Catching Fire about an uprising, and I opened the book and read this. The practice of love takes time. Without a doubt, the way we work in this society leaves individuals with little time when they are not physically and emotionally tired to work on the art of loving. While movies spin sentimental narratives about ruling class men suffering life-threatening illnesses that lead them to reevaluate how they spend their time, in real life, we have yet to see abundant examples of powerful men or women pausing to create a place to do the work of love in their lives. Truly, there would be no unemployment problem in our nation if our taxes subsidized schools where everyone could learn to love. Okay, are we stepping into the great unknown? No, not yet. Because first, we need to start an uprising. And the work of love takes time. How does she phrase it in here? In real life, we have yet to see abundant examples of powerful men or women pausing to create a place to do the work of love in their lives. So what I am getting from this, from the oracle, what Mercury is communicating that the oracle is saying here, this eclipse might bring about, it's not causal, might coincide in our lives with an uprising that maybe begins with the fall of someone, something, some institution, some belief, some central figure off of their pedestal that rocks us, that shakes us. And the uprising wants to swell up. And my hope is that uprising latches on to the creative potential of the five-pointed star rather than the emotional volatility and insecurity of the sextile between Mars and Chiron, right? The uprising latches onto that and helps us to center love, center the heart. South Node in Leo, solar eclipse near the South Node, in the sign of the King, of the Sun, of the leader. Let us release the egoic, the powerful, the false leadership of the performative Let us release that in favor of the heart, in favor of the love. What if we rose up and subsidized our education so that every child could learn how to love? What if that were the underpinning? We're living in a moment. We're living in this moment. Maybe the uprising has already begun. Let's rise up. Let's rise up. Let's tear down these institutions that are not working for us. Let's take the people we have admired who aren't leading from an authentic place off their pedestals. They're only human. Now, that doesn't mean I'm advocating canceling everyone. We're all human. Let's provide abundant examples of people who pause to create a place to do the work of love in their lives. All right, y'all. I guess I needed this probably more than you did. Take care. I'll see you in a few weeks.